how to build a lasting marriage, how to build it. Now, I want to start by giving us number one. For you to have a lasting marriage or a lasting relationship, Amos 3:3 must come in. The two must agree. The two must agree. Amos 3:3. It says from the easy to read version, it says, two people will not work together unless they have agreed to do so. Two people will not work together except they have agreed to do so. So if you say, let us build, first of all agree that we want to build this marriage. We must first of all come to that agreement. And many marriages today, they seem not to have arrived at that agreement. That's why once any slight thing happens, the next thing is to jump out. It says, can two work together if they don't agree? So for you to have a marriage or relationship that will last, you must agree. You must what? You must agree. Two of you must sit down and agree that we want to do this thing. We want this thing to last. We want this thing to last. So for that person that has had like 10 relationships this year, that person, there was no agreement. Because if you say we want to build this, that means both of us have agreed. And we are going to do what it takes to make this thing last. So agreement from both ends must be the first thing. And then after both have agreed, you now move to the second one, which is begin with God. You must now begin with God. If you have agreed that, okay, we want to take this journey together and this thing is going to last. Nobody is going to say in the next 3, 4, 5 years that I don't want to do again. If that is going to happen, after you have agreed, the next thing that both of you must now do is to begin with God. To begin with God. Genesis 1:1, it says, in the beginning, God. In the beginning, God. In the beginning, God. So, bringing God into the very start is very crucial for that thing to last. Because the nature of God itself is ever what? What is God? Everlasting. So when you bring him into anything, guarantees that that thing also has some everlasting tendency. Because you have brought in the everlasting one. And if we know his nature very well, he doesn't do abandon project. He says, he who has begun this good work in you is faithful to complete it. So when you bring him in from that onset, you are sure that, okay, this thing has longevity in it. Now, in Psalms 127 and verse 1, Psalms 127 and verse 1, it says, if it is not the Lord who builds a house, I'm reading easy to read version. If it is not the Lord who builds a house, the builders are wasting their time. If it is not the Lord that is building the house. So when you come after you have agreed and it's okay, we want to build this to last. We want to build this to last. We want to say, okay, in the next 70 years, 80 years of our lives, we are going to still be together, still going strong. If you want that to be so, then it is the Lord that you must allow to help you build. It says, if it is not the Lord who builds a house, a job, a business, a career, if it is not the Lord who builds, it says the builders are doing what? Wasting their time. They are wasting their time. Oh, how sad it is that many people are just wasting their time. Wasting precious time. It says, if it is not the Lord who watches over the city, the guards are wasting their time. So you must bring God into it from the very beginning. If you want that thing to last, you must bring God into it. Now, bringing God into it implies that you are going to allow him to lead, because you are not going to bring him in and put him in one corner and say, just be there in the other room. Let us just occupy and be doing our own thing. No. If you are bringing him in, that means you are putting him at the front, and whatever he says is what you accept to do. You cannot claim to bring him in and then he's giving you instructions as to how you are to go about that relationship or that marriage. And you say, no. This is not what my tradition says. This is not what my culture says. This is not what the society says. If you are bringing him in, then you must be willing to do what he says. The mother of Jesus said to the disciples, what did he say? Whatever he tells you to do, do what? Do it. If you want your relationship to last, that's what you must do. In fact, let's just go to that scripture in Matthew 7. Let's go to that scripture in Matthew 7. Let's do it from verse 24. Please, media, help us. Matthew 7 from verse 24. Hear what Jesus said here. He says, whoever hears these teachings of mine. Can you give me an amplified? Can you give me an amplified? Now, it says, so everyone who hears these words of mine and acts on them will be like a wise man. A what? Media, can you put the background on a black, this thing? This color, this thing you put there is. So it says, so everyone who hears these words of mine and acts on them. Are you seeing that? And acts on them will be like a wise man, a far-sighted, practical, and sensible man who builds his house on the rock. Move on, please. He's far-sighted. The man don't see him say, Kai, this future, when I go so, if I won't go by my own wisdom, I go crash. So he has already seen and he has decided to say he's going to act on the words of Jesus. Yes, move on, please. 25. And the rain fell, and the floods and torrents came, and the winds blew and slammed against the house. Yet it did not fall. Because, why? It had been founded on the rock. It had been founded on the rock.